Hello everybody, today I have a quicker video for you. I have a problem with my lamp for my bedroom. It's not working quite right. Oh well, of course now that I'm showing you it's going to work just fine, but the socket in there, I'm barely turning it, and a lot of times whenever I turn it on, it's got this kind of a flickering kind of a thing to it. So I'm just going to run through it real quick on how to fix it. Basically, I don't know if it's as simple as something I can just peel the little the one pad in the middle of the socket up and then it'll be better, or if I need to replace the socket. I'm going to find out. So let's get started. Now obviously, before we do anything with this kind of electricity, we unplug the appliance first. Yes, very important. Yeah, that's so dumb that now that I'm trying to get it to do what it was doing before, it won't do it now. Of course. Okay, so again, I just did it. Ooh. Ooh. Real smart guy. I'm a real smart guy. Just staring directly at that light bulb. Ow. Don't stare directly at a light bulb. Yeah, it's not an actual... It's not a glass light bulb though, it is a LED imitation, but you know what, that's fine. Those are better to use. Yeah, okay. Now you see what it's doing? I'm twisting it a little bit, but I'm not actually unscrewing it. It's just got this wiggle to it, right? Yeah, there. Ooh, see if I can get you to hear that. Yeah, you hear that little arc sound in there? Yeah, there we go. That's the issue I have with this. It's been going on for probably about a month now. And it's really annoying. I don't like, when I go to my bedroom to turn the lamp on before I go to bed and I hear this like arcing and stuff in there and then it flickers and so on. I want to do something about it because arcing, in my opinion, is not a safe sound to hear, because that means it's going to maybe catch something on fire or destroy itself. Something bad might happen, so I want to try to fix it. Alright, so turn it off and unplug it. I have it unplugged. No power. Alright. That bulb comes out. Lamp shade comes off. So what I was talking about, there's a contact right in the middle. See how it looks like kind of a coppery color? This outside's like a tin or aluminum, or it might be steel. I'm not actually sure. But that one in the middle, I was afraid maybe that wasn't contacting with the light bulb. Yeah, because I'm not actually unscrewing it, I'm just moving the socket around. Okay. So, again, this is not a glass light bulb. Do not immediately just grab a glass light bulb after you had it turned on. You will burn your hand. Don't do that. Okay, so actually we can't... Oh wait, hang on, I didn't unplug the power. Okay, now we can touch this. Alright, let's see what's happening here. I wonder if I can feed the power cord through the bottom anymore. Yeah, there we go. Shove some of that up through there so we can work on it. Okay, well, that may be the culprit right there. Hang on, let's bring you in here. Come on in. Sit and stay for a while. Take your shoes off. Alright, so can we see what's happening here? Can you? There we go. Let me just... There we go, sort of. Alright, so this wire here is doing one of these jobbies. Okay? And I thought maybe, because it's on this side of the socket, that it was connected to that center deal, but I was looking at it, and when I move that wire up and down, it doesn't appear to be moving that piece. Whether it should or not, I don't know. But I feel like this is no-no land. Okay? I'm going to try the other side after I quit bumping the camera. Okay, that side does it even easier. Like, way easier. And unfortunately, I could take this socket all apart, but I don't have really any decent way to put it back together because it appears that it is probably plastic welded or something like that. Anyways, this isn't worth it for me to destroy this socket because I don't have a real good way to put it back together. So instead, I think we're going to just remove it all together. We'll keep the cord. I have another socket on another lamp because I didn't go buy another socket. We will cannibalize it, slap it on here, and we should be good to go. Oh, don't tell me that's what it... Oh, no. I think might be unscrewing that threaded tube there all the way, and I didn't want to do that. Yeah, I did. That's okay. We'll just take her all apart. Like this. Okay, so what happened there was I just started unscrewing it, and it unscrewed that threaded tube from the base, or not, well, yeah, the top of the base of the lamp. Not a big deal, but now I have to unthread it from the bottom of that socket housing. And I don't have any wrenches in this part of the house that'll do that right away. Take that back. I have the old make it wrench yourself tool. There we go. You know what? I think I'll keep this lamp housing because maybe that's useful, and hell, maybe I just reuse it on this project. Okay, so we've disassembled that for the moment. Okay, so I now have this lamp. This lamp is from a living room. It's kind of a nice lamp. This lampshade's apparently seen better eras of humanity. Yeah, okay. So, I need to replace the guts of this lamp anyways. Not a huge problem. This wire, the cord for it, it's been all chewed up by mice and stuff. But the socket is the same style as this, but instead of the push thing, it's got the turn thing, you know, the things that are different things. So I'm going to use it on my little fish lamp because I really want to use my fish lamp. And then I will, at some point, then reuse this base because it's not a bad looking lamp base, actually. Not to mention, it only cost me like 60 cents or whatever at the flea market where I got it. But this lamp and lampshade's too big for my nightstand anyway. So, those wires don't appear to be loose. We've already verified that it worked. Well, I verified that it worked when you weren't looking. Sorry. Alright, now because I don't want to use the wire, the cord that's attached to it. Like I said, it's been chewed up by mice, so we're actually going to do us a little bit of a splicing bit, which can be dangerous if not done correctly, and I'm probably not going to do it correctly, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to go as far down this wire as I can until I start seeing the little chews from the mice, and then we'll cut it there, and yeah, right there actually. Yeah, I know it is because that electrical tape's hitting the bottom of this, so that's where we'll cut it. Okay, so this is what we got. Okay, socket, cord, yada yada. Alright, I need to make this cord work to this cord. Can't decide if I just want to use butt connectors and just boom, like that, or if I want to use something like how a power outlet works, a power outlet receptacle, where it's you wrap it around a screw. Or I could perhaps, and probably the better idea, would be to do it in the same way that they, or at least in a similar way to how they have the ends of this. Come on, camera, get your crap together. You're here to do a job. So if you can see on the end of those wires, oh come on. If you can see on the end of those wires, there's little bits of solder there. Probably my best option for connection here, instead of using crimps, would be to stick these wires together, maybe like some kind of a weave. And when I say weave, I mean just kind of like when you do like this with your fingers, right? But we'll do that with the little strands of wire in the wire. Put some solder around it and heat shrink. I'm thinking that's the way I want to go with it, providing I've got heat shrink that I'm comfortable with using. Because house power, you know, it's 110 AC, so I just want to make sure that this thing isn't going to arc and, you know, set my house on fire. The last thing I need is to have my house burned down, okay? Of course, the insulation of heat shrink is not nearly as thick as the insulation around the wire. Probably could double heat shrink it. I think I got a working plan as to how I want to go about this. So I think we're gonna solder it and heat shrink it. But I'm gonna do a double heat shrink just because I really want to make sure that we're good to go with it. So let's fire up the old soldering iron. We will assemble this into the lamp stand. Whoops, I gotta put it all together, don't I? Son of a biscuit. I forgot the most important part is I gotta have this little tube in there. Caution: to reduce the risk of fire, use 3-way max 150 watt type A lamp. Which is, as far as I know, every type of lamp there is in America. I am kind of scratching off some of the paint of this. That's up to you if it bothers you. I mean, you can take a little bit of, this is black. Hell, you could just take some black nail polish. Clean it up that way if you really felt so inclined to. So this base has a little threaded insert in there, if you can see that it's threaded. I'm going to let this cord hang free as I thread it, so that way it spins on its own and doesn't get all twisted and bunched up. And then I'm going to turn this enough, should be able to get away with doing it just enough to where you can tighten it down snugly, just like that, and then face the knob to the front of the lamp. We want to do this and be safe about it. And what I mean by being safe is we don't want it to ever cause any kind of an arc or a short or anything, because that's what burns houses down. Okay, this is my bedside lamp. We cannot afford to have some kind of a safety risk. Now, alright, we can do this, it could be done, but we have to make sure it's done right. There we go. Okay, so I have my ends. I'm not going to twist them. Right, I'm not going to twist those, because if I need them to go like, like this, I don't want them twisted or it ain't going to work. And just so everybody's aware, too, I am not a professional electrician. Alright, I'm doing this mainly just out of my own experience here. On almost all cords that you find, one wire has writing on it, and one wire does not. Okay? That's true also for this cord. So what I'm going to attempt to do is I'm going to match the cord with writing to the cord with writing, and then the cord without writing to the cord without writing. Okay? Okay, so I was just editing this video and I realized I need to include a bit of an addendum here to help explain why I was connecting the wires with the markings to the markings and the blank wires to the blank wires. Okay, so our houses in North America are powered by 60 hertz AC power. Okay, so 60 hertz means that 60 cycles per second, and the AC is the alternating current, and alternating current means that it's changing its polarity from positive to negative and back and forth, and that's happening 60 times per second. Okay, so effectively in real time it appears as though there's no that electricity is flowing both ways all the time. It isn't, it's changing, but that's how it appears in real time. So since your current is effectively flowing in both directions all of the time, the reason why there's a difference in polarity in our appliances is because there's this kind of plug here. Okay, I'm going to try to do my best to keep this in focus while I do this. This kind of plug here, one prong's a little bigger than the other one, okay? That smaller prong, the smaller prong, is considered the hot side, okay? That's a direct feed straight from wherever your power is coming into your house. The neutral side, the bigger prong, is called the neutral side. That side also goes directly back to that same power source, except it's also connected to the earth ground at your home. Okay, so effectively what's happening is, let's say this light bulb here, or this light bulb socket, okay, it has the bigger metal piece around the outside. That's the neutral portion of this device, the hot being the little tab in the very middle. And the idea here is, if there's some kind of an arc or a failure in the device, whatever electricity might be escaping that could shock you when you touch it would instead go into the neutral line to the ground. Okay, so let's say light bulb socket, I turn it on, I stick my finger in it. Well, the bigger side, which is the neutral, which is the side that I'm most likely to touch first when I do that, should drive the electricity only through the tip of my finger and then to ground. Okay? That's the idea. Now, obviously, that's still not a perfect solution to keeping you from injuring yourself or being electrocuted in any way, but it's safer than if it weren't set up that way. Now, we also have this kind of plug here. I want to explain this. Alright, these two prongs in the front of this are same size. Okay? Because they don't need to have a difference visually, because it has the big plug at the bottom of it, at the back of it. That is the ground. Okay, now the difference between neutral and ground is not designed in any way to carry continuous electricity. Ground is wired directly to the circuit breaker at the panel. Okay, basically, if for some reason electricity escapes the circuit and goes through a metal part which the ground is connected to, that electricity will trigger the breaker to pop, and then the ground wire then will shunt it also to the earth ground. And the difference being is the neutral and the ground are both connected to the same earth ground. The difference being is that is going to be upstream of the panel. It's usually written as they will be bonded at the panel, but this has the circuit breaker in front of it first, which will disconnect that circuit before it has a chance to do further damage or further electrocution, whatever. Alright, as it's shunting whatever energy is still there into the earth ground. Just for comparison then, you know, your cell phone charger, these prongs, they're the same size, because there's not metal, there's not a whole lot of wires or anything that can get loose. This is a pretty safe little circuit to have plugged into something. It's not really going to fail, and if it does, well, there's still ground on one side, so hopefully it would carry to that. And I just wanted to make that very clear why that's important to have the neutral side going to the correct part of the circuit, especially being in a light bulb. That should be connected to what would be the socket side of the light bulb socket, so that way if you do touch it or if there's a failure, hopefully a lot of that energy is going to be shunted into the ground and not cause serious damage to you or your property. I'm going to use ye old helping hands here, okay? Ye oldie helping hands, because I want to make sure that this is going to stay steady for me to do this. There. I feel like saying ye oldie today. It's a fun, kind of fun thing to say. My attempt here is to basically get the wires to do like this. Okay, I want to do that with the wire strands. Whoops, hang on. I just remembered something. I was going to put heat shrink on this. You kind of have to do that before you start the soldering, you know. Let me try to burn that off there. Okay, so now we're going to put the heat shrinks onto the wires first, and then we'll solder. And I'm going to do my best to try to actually solder both sides of it, just because I really want to make sure that this is well connected here. Hey, that's pretty okay if I do say so myself. Not upset about that. Now, I'm going to let that cool for a minute. Have a quick pop drinking break. See? Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and get our heat shrink down on there. Those are nice and cooled down. They don't burn my fingers at all, not even warm. And I don't mind telling you, them suckers are strong. Okay, they're not, I don't worry about those coming apart. Especially being a lamp that's on a table, I don't worry about that coming apart. So I'm going to put the smaller heat shrinks on here first. Alright, well, very lightly smack it with the torch, and I don't, you know what I mean, I ain't going to actually like bash it. Anyhow, I'm just going to very lightly get it on there just enough to get it to heat up. I'm not making any attempt to burn it, even though it's already burnt a little. Just now realizing I have a freaking, I have a heater gun sitting right here. Okay. Like so. And you know what? I'll use the heat gun for this one, since I didn't think about that before. That thing's kind of loud, isn't it? Yeah, it sure is. We'll let her heat up here. Oh, it's already heated up. Oh yeah, look at that. It's absolutely beautiful. Why was I not doing this earlier? 'Cause now I don't have to worry about it burning. Okay, so now, yeah, it's a little warm still. That's alright. Okay, so this is what I've got. Okay, so I've soldered the wires together. They're not coming apart. And I double heat shrink them because I'm just kind of wigging out about in case there's an arc. So I did a double heat shrink. And now, just to keep this all together, I'm going to do a single wrap in electrical tape. And then we'll reassemble the rest of the lamp and give her a shot. So, how I want to do it, could have even put an even way bigger heat shrink on this for this, but that's okay. I'm going to start right at the end where the wires are still connected, and then I'll end at the other end, same thing. Alrighty, so now I have that. Well, there's a bunch of dog hair on that tape, isn't there? Anyway, so yeah, I have that wrapped. So at this point, this cord, the way I've attached these is we have woven the strands of each of the electrical cords like this together. We soldered those. Each wire was double heat shrinked, and then one wrap of electrical tape on top of that. I feel safe with this. I'm confident it's not going to arc and spark and carry on. Okay, now let's move back up this way. Alright, let's plug her back into the power strip here. Let's stick a light bulb in it. Okay, some of this dust off there, and hey! And it's not, there's none of that business, right? There's no, I don't hear any arcing or sparking, popping, cracking. It's not wiggling. It's actually very tight in there. It's like, doesn't wiggle at all. I'm very, very happy with that. That's what I was after, because again, this is my bedside lamp. That's the lamp that I want to work correctly. Also with this connection, the light's on now, it has been for a minute. There's no heat at all whatsoever in that connection at all. None. It's not arcing, not sparking, not nothing. This is a solid, safe connection. Alright, and I feel safe having it plugged in behind my bed. Go ahead and stick the lampshade back on it. Like so. And stick that bad boy on there. Stick a light bulb back in it. Okay. Plug it back in. And voila! We now have a turn knob style lamp instead of the push button style. And there's no popping and cracking and carrying it on. I think I'm very happy with that. Alright, and having that said, this is just a quick video, quick repair video. I did it because this is the lamp I use every night when I'm sitting in bed reading, doing a puzzle book, whatever. And I wasn't comfortable with the arcing and the popping and the cracking sounds that the light bulb was making. So I decided I need to make this work so that way I can have a light next to my bed. Alright, that was a pretty easy, simple thing. Again, the biggest thing when you're doing electrical stuff, again, I am not an electrician, I am not an expert. My advice is technically not advice, but when you're going to do this kind of thing here, right, you're connecting wires, be too safe. Okay, be too safe. Because if you're not too safe, then you're not safe enough. That's kind of how I look at it. If I'm more safe than I should be, I don't have to worry about it accidentally being unsafe. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you learned something from it. I hope you gained something from it. If you would, please subscribe to the channel. I've got a bunch more stuff coming up. You know, I've got other projects. I have other solder kits I'm going to do. And I have a piece of technology that's like 73 years old that we're going to do a, well, not necessarily restoration, but a making it work because it doesn't work. Okay, and I think I'm gonna, I got an idea that I'm gonna do with it that I think is actually really, really cool and fun. So stick around for that. So please subscribe to the channel, like the video, leave me a comment, tell me what you thought of this video, you know, on what I'm starting to do here now. And with all that having been said, please have a beautiful day.